His rebus adducti et auctoritate orgatoriges permoti constituerant ea quae ad proficendum pertinerent comparare iumentorum et cororum quam maximum numerum coemere sementes quam maximas facere ut in itinere copia frumenti subpeterit cum proximis kiwi patibus pacem et amicitiam confirmare. Wow, that's kind of a big sentence. Let's take a peek here. First thing we need to know is that the Helvetians are the subject of this sentence. So we're starting here. We've got an ablative. Hopefully by now, when you start something with an ablative, it leads you to remember, oh, I need something passive. And here's the passive participle that goes with this ablative. This participle, of course, is nominative plural, and it modifies the Helvetians. Motivated by these things, et, oh look, another ablative, and this is talking about the authority of orgatorics, and here we have another perfect passive participle. Permoti, moved by this. So we've got two participial clauses describing the subject, and the subject isn't even stated, and then we have the verb. Decided. So the Helvetians decided something, and that is an important word. Number one, because Caesar uses it all the time, and number two, because it usually takes a complementary infinitive. Think about it. You decide, and that implies you decide to do something, to think, to sleep, to run, to something. So let's see. Where is the infinitive that is dependent upon constituerant? Actually, there are four of them. They decided to do this, and they decided to do this, and they decided to do this, and they decided to do this. So the Helvetians decided to do four things. Let's take each one individually. They decided to comparare. The direct object of comparare is over here, ea. Notice ea is also modified by this lovely relative clause here. They decided to comparare those things which, and then let's see, which what? Which pertinerant, which pertain. Ad plus an nd word usually means for the purpose of, which pertain to the purpose of, or for the purpose of, in this instance, the setting out, which pertain to the trip. Which makes sense. If you're going on a big trip with a bunch of people, you're probably going to gather a bunch of things. Okay, let's look at the next thing. They also decided to do this, coemere, which, of course, if you look at it, you can see the root, emere. Hopefully you know that comes from amo, emere, which means to purchase. And what did they decide to buy for their trip? An accusative. Well, iumentorum is not accusative, that's genitive. This phrase here, cororum, is genitive. Oh, here it is. They decided to purchase a number. What kind of number? Quam maximum. Notice Caesar does this several times, as well as lots of other Latin authors. Quam plus a superlative means as great or as whatever as possible. So they decided to purchase as great a number of these things as they could for their trip. Look it up. It isn't potato chips. They decided to purchase a whole bunch of something else. Okay, going on. They also decided, hopefully you recognize the pattern now. Here's the accusative, and here's the infinitive that is a verb that governs the accusative. So they decided to make this accusative. Oh, and we've got quam maximus. Apparently they decided to make as much of this accusative as possible. Again, quam plus a superlative means as whatever as possible. Before Caesar gives us the last thing, he gives us some more detail with this nifty ut clause. Starts there, ends there. What kind of an ut clause is it? Well, ut plus a subjunctive, there are lots of different possibilities. In this instance, it's a purpose clause telling us why they wanted to gather as much stuff as possible. So that, let's see, prepositional phrase. Here is the subject of subpeterit. Frumenti is genitive modifying copiae. You can figure out what that means. That should be enough of a hint. So they decided to do it for this reason. And then we get to our last infinitive dependent on constituerant. They decided to confirm where is the thing they're going to confirm? Not cum proximis civitatibus, that's a prepositional phrase. They decided to confirm pacem et amicitiam, peace and friendship with those people. So that's the end of this section.